As I understand it, the committee has been reviewing the reports in this matter. Do we have anything from our director? Walk out the door. I just asked, as I understand it, the committee has met with regard to the matter of Milwaukee versus Freeman-Wilson. As I understood it, the complaint that was filed by Mr. Milwaukee has been addressed, and instead been a matter of the committee reviewing the committee reports. But I wanted to verify that. Is that what the status is?
Yes.
Okay, and so with regard to that being on the agenda, is there any report from the committee?
We have reviewed the documents. 13 and 14 has been submitted. 15 is still outstanding. At this time, most of the deficiencies have been corrected for 13 and 14.
Do you have anything further?
Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Please.
Yes. The committee has been working on drafting a final report because Mr. Weezer had to be absent today. We have a summary in draft of the findings without giving any recommendations at this point. The committee, since the last meeting, did follow the board's instructions to work with the campaign, that's the Friends of Karen Freeman-Wilson Campaign Committee, to resolve the outstanding issues in the complaints, which are the accuracy and reporting of the campaign contributions and expenditures. The committee did hire what it said was an accountant. He is not a CPA, to correct the errors in his reports. In October, the board did meet with the mayor, Attorney Harris, and Mr. Taylor, the accountant, to discuss the unitemized expenditures and their change in nature. The campaign assured the committee that they were conducting a full review and would submit amended reports. They did, but Mr. Taylor informed the committee only days later that the committee was not permitting him to revise his full reports, or rather the campaign's full reports. Instead, it was only using him to correct portions of the reports. When the fourth amended 2014 and 15 reports arrived, the amount of cash on hand at 2014 increased from $48,700 to $108,800. The committee wanted an explanation of the roughly $60,000 error in disclosure of cash assets, so it requested bank records through Attorney Weezer. The campaign denied this request, and rather than pursue further action and seek to issue subpoenas, the campaign convened and decided on a final action. Under Indiana statute, the board may impose a penalty for a defective report that is filed more than 5 days, or for an amendment to a defective report that is filed more than 5 days after it is due, and that those are $100 per report, not to exceed a total fine of $10 per day, not to exceed $100 total fine. There were 13 amendments filed total, 4 for 2013, 5 for 2014, and 4 for 2015, taking into account 3 reports, 13, 14, and 15, the $100 limit is reached in each case.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
go ahead, Mr. Mel.
comment. You know, we've been working on this for, it's coming close to a year now. We've set up an investigative committee. The committee has done its best to try to gather information and try to present to the board overall the extent of any campaign finance violations, should they exist, how many, and the materiality of those violations. To date, I see us still in a position where we're still spinning our wheels. We still don't have all the proper information. I look at one issue just off the top of my head, which is the balance of the campaign finance report as of January 2013, which reports $62,627.56. Numerous times, the committee, the board, and myself have requested copies of bank statements to find out what the unitemized beginning balance, the ending balance, and what the activity was in between. Today, we still have not received that, but we do have a copy of a balance as of that same date of $685.96. This balance is nowhere near the balance that was reported. It's a material difference, and it indicates to me the potential for knowingly filing an incorrect campaign finance report. I do not believe that this committee is going to get any further with this. I don't think that we have the investigative powers to move forward with this. I think it should be referred to an entity that has the investigatory powers to move forward and to subpoena the bank records to find out what the true beginning balances are, what the true ending balances are, and the itemized or the unitemized activity within those accounts, whether or not those accounts should have been itemized or should not have been itemized. At this point, we don't know for certain that there is a violation of campaign finance law, but every indication shows us that there is a potential that there's significant problems, and whether or not it was known, I don't know that this board has the authority or the ability to come to that conclusion. So with that being said, I'm going to make a motion that this be referred to the prosecutor's office for investigation, because they have the subpoena power, they have the ability to investigate. And knowingly turning in a false document on a campaign finance report is a felony, and something that should be taken very seriously. And this board has a duty, in my opinion, to make sure that that information is uncovered. So my motion is to turn this over to the prosecutor's office for further investigation.
There's a motion on the table. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Most other things, I'm just kind of jump in. I did review all of the campaign finance reports, or review all the amended campaign finance reports. I did review this with Attorney Weezer prior to today. The reason that Attorney Weezer is not here today is he's out of town on a funeral. My understanding is that we are to refer matters to the prosecutor's office when there's substantial reason to believe an election law violation has occurred. And I think that by your own admission, you just said we don't know for certain whether or not any campaign finance violation has occurred. And so since we don't know, that means to me we can't have substantial reason to believe, which means to me it should not be referred to the prosecutor, my own perspective. However, I do believe that the campaign reports were late, they were effective, the committee should be fined. I know that's not part of the motion, but I think it's something that should be addressed this morning. Is there any other further discussion with regard to the motion to refer this to the prosecutor's office? Member? Hearing no further discussion, call to vote. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay.
Nay. It's 2-3, and the motion does not carry. As I understand the report, Mr. Cedia was part of the committee. I believe Michelle was also. As I understand it, the committee is making the recommendation that the committee be dissolved with regard to the reports for 2013 and 2014. The 2015 report is still not complete and turned in. So it appears as though the board may take action with regard to the 2013 and 2014 today. I know that we have talked in the past about fines. We've had discussions that have been before the board for the last 4 or 5 board meetings, not only this committee but other committees with regard to fines. So at this point in time, with the understanding that the committee is recommending that it be dissolved, how does the board want to treat the 2013 and the 2014 reports that have been amended?
Actually, I would like to make a motion with regard to the 2013-14 reports, as well as with regard to the pre-election 2015 report. And the motion is as follows. With regard to the defective reports for the years 2013 and 2014, I recommend and request a fine of $200 be imposed. In addition, I would ask that a $2,000 fee be imposed to cover investigative costs in this matter for a total in fines and costs in the amount of $2,200. Additionally, my motion would ask that the committee be given 30 days in which to turn in their 2015 re-election.
We have a motion before the board. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion on the motion.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Seaton.
The statute for the civil penalties requires documented investigative costs. I would propose a friendly amendment that the committee submit documentation for those costs within 7 days.
And no objection to that amendment.
Would you accept that as the second?
I do.
Is there any other discussion on the motion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
I oppose.
Motion carries 4-1. Next matter that we have on the agenda is